Hey, it's Pete Kelly, and we got a pretty simple question for you today. What's the worst place you ever stayed, and essentially what made it so bad? It got me thinking back to college, where I ended up camping with a couple friends, and it was supposed to be a nice night. Everything was supposed to be beautiful outside. We set up the tent, and it starts pouring down rain. So we're running back to get into the tent and everything, and the tent, I guess, had holes in it because we were soaking wet. I'm worried I'm gonna die of hypothermia, even though it was like 50 degrees out. But that's not the worst part, because around 2 in the morning, we get woken up to, ow, in the distance. Yeah, there were coyotes in the distance. Thankfully, they never came near the tent, but the whole time I'm thinking, yeah, this is how it ends. Also, no cell service either. Made it a little bit more scary. So we want to hear your stories. What's the worst place you ever spent the night, and what made it so bad? Tracy and Wilton, what happened to you?
One time I got really drunk and I had just met someone and I called him and he picked me up and I stayed at his house. That was awkward.
The next morning is probably the most awkward thing. You're like, oh, well, I gotta go now.
Yeah, that was my weirdest anyways.
The cat, Kayla in East Greenbush, what's the worst place you ever spent the night?
It was probably a hotel in Albany. It was so bad because their AC went out in half the hotel. So half the rooms on one side of the hotel did not have any AC, and it was like 100 degrees in August one summer. And we actually had my cousin's wedding there, and it was there was no AC in the ballroom either.
Oh, that's brutal. So what did you end up doing so you didn't die? I mean, what did you do?
No, we just split it out.
Depending on who's in the room with you, maybe you're just in your underwear or whatever, and you just go get a bunch of ice and just
I was actually stuck with some family members, so I was stuck in, regular pajamas, but it was just a rough night.
Debbie in Clifton Park, what was your worst place?
Probably the Hilton in Philadelphia.
Okay. What made that so bad?
I was in the middle of sleeping, and the housekeeper just came in without even knocking or anything.
What?
Yep.
What time was this at?
8:30 in the morning.
Okay, that seems a little early to be doing that.
Right.
Geez, so, I mean, what did you do? Did you yell at them? Did they leave immediately? Did they just kind of stand in the room for a little bit?
They left immediately, and I got the room comped.
Brittany in Johnstown, what happened to you?
When I was in college, we went to one of my roommates. We went to one of her friends' colleges, and we stayed in their townhouse for the night. And it was a guy's house. They made all of us girls sleep out in the living room, and then at least 2 or 3 times in the middle of the night, we woke up to somebody peeing in the corner in a fish tank. It was super weird. It was really awkward.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be kind of hard to top that story. Man, that is bad.
Yeah, it was pretty awful.
The cat, Mindy in North Greenbush, what's the worst place you ever spent the night, and what happened?
So 2013, my family and I went to California, and one of the days we were going to stay as close to Disneyland as possible. So one of the hotels we found said it was real close to Disneyland. In fact, we found out it was right behind the employees' parking of Disneyland. So late at night, we hear what sounded like maybe trash cans being dumped by a garbage truck, and it was the fireworks. So we thought, all right, well, we can live with it. It's only a couple nights.
Yeah.
The next morning, we got ready to go to the park, and my husband said, "Did you look at your feet?" And they were black.
Oh.
I had white socks. They were turned black. It was from the carpet.
Oh, that's so gross.
Plus, the shower didn't work either. So I went, complained big time at the hotel, quickly rushed to get another hotel. We didn't get into Disneyland until half the day was practically over, but we made the best of it. We had a good time.
The cat, Jen in Kasaki, what about you?
I would say probably a super, super sketchy hotel with about 20 people in it on our way to spring break, and it was the most sketched out place I've ever been in my whole life.
What made it so
really
sketchy?
There was just the random person at a front desk. Nobody cared about anything. There's just people in the hallways. It was really, really bad. It was just very, very sketchy on the way to a spring break.
And do you remember where this hotel was?
Oh, yeah. It was down near Fort Lauderdale in Florida.
Okay, so you remember her pretty well then.
Oh, I'll never forget it. It was a long night.
So if you've got a story, comment below and let us know. And usually, Monday through Thursday, we're always getting advice. So if you ever have a question you want to put out there, you can always email me, Pete at 109thecat.com. Call us here in the studio at 518-476-109, or just DM me on social media. We'll keep you completely anonymous at On Air Pete. And if you like this video, make sure you subscribe for more. And you can listen every weekday, 3 to 7 p.m. on 100.9 The Cat. You can download our free app, listen live in the Albany area on 100.9, or ask Alexa to play WKLI.